we got that initial really light CPI, I went big into SoFi, expecting a huge move by November. And man, that turned out to be right. But why? Why am I bullish on SoFi? It's because sometimes I just want to be in a stock where it's, look, everyone bullish on SoFi were the same people who are bullish on Palantir since 5, the same people who are bullish on Tesla for years. There's a group of stocks, you want to call them meme stocks, but they're higher quality meme stocks followed by much higher quality investors and people I follow on Twitter. And this is the group of stocks that they've been in. It's been SoFi, HIMS, Hood, Palantir, Tesla. All right. That's the group. Very, very good investors all over. SoFi, HIMS, Hood, Palantir, Tesla. So I'm like, they've been right about basically all of them. So I want to have a position in SoFi. And that was my only reasoning and why I thought SoFi would outperform, because these guys, these, higher quality meme stocks. That's what's going on here. Now, SoFi broke out last week. Sometimes the crowd knows something better than institutions. All right. And a lot of that's about management, I've noticed, right? I've noticed that the reason they love, and also they love like NVIDIA, it's all about management. They love Palantir CEO. They love the Hood CEO. They love the SoFi CEO. I hear so much about these CEOs all over Twitter for the last couple of years. And maybe the fundamentals aren't there yet, but that's why sentiment matters. And that's why sentiment is given a value in the market, because sometimes sentiment leads fundamentals. And that looks like what's happening here. SoFi this morning, $2 billion packed with Fortress Investment, stock soaring. I don't know the implications of this, but I do know the market cap's $9 billion or so, 8 or 9 billion, 9 billion, and $2 billion pack looks significant. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not an expert in the finance sector, but SoFi looking good. So now I chose ACHR over SMR because of the Sam Altman connection and additional hype and the sentiment premium that comes along with Sam Altman, and a potential for one day. Thing I think you have to squeeze now. All right. They have been pounding the $10 and $12.50 calls here. Look at this volume yesterday and the open interest. Look at this. You see this? 15,000 versus 11,000 open interest. Interesting to see what we're at today when we open. 23,000 on the 1250s. I've been mentioning for a couple of days the extremely high call volume and how they may want to gamma squeeze ACHR. And now, look, all over the news, it's SMR, using that those letters. Yeah, you have SMR here, but we're going to go ACHR. But it's. I think you have to throw away fundamentals. And okay, some people may disagree with me. At this point in time, every once in a while, you get short squeezes in names, right? In sectors. And this is the time. The stars are aligned for a short squeeze in ACHR. I'm not in a full position. I think I added some, at 1250, was it? I added some at 1250. I tried adding more at 1265 while I was driving, but it ran away from me. And I had to go to 1290. But I'm leaving a lot of firepower to buy more dips. So look, what we'll do is throw ACHR into our top list here. All right. But really, this is just a continuation of the inflection point in uranium. If you think ACHR is risky, just go URA. All right. And just own it. Own it for this coming move that's going to continue into the rest of this year, into next year. Look, 3363 minimum target on URA. It's just too much. It's too much. It's too much sentiment. It's too much catalyst, and it's going to overcome. It's going to overcome any other market dynamic. It's going to overcome the shorts, overcome the bears, overcome any concerns about fundamentals. This is the moment we're in now, and it's game on. And you can see that 28,000 share bid right now on ACHR at $12.80. Okay, so ACHR, look at that. Back in our top 5 here. In fact, let me just let's see what kind of position I have in my trading account in ACHR. Oh, it's so small. Oh, I got a small position, man. Do I want to buy more while I'm on the show? Buy high. I think this is one of the days I'm going to leave more room to buy the dip. I will, but I'm going to add a little bit more here at like the high. Okay. $12.90. I just think sometimes you got to have that instinct, and you gotta strike when you think there's going to be a short squeeze, and I think there's going to be a short squeeze. So, wow, that's crazy. All right, Aklo in the top 5. All right. All right, good.
I just added Snap $12 calls November 1st.
Snap $12 calls November 1st. I might join you.
Yeah, I'm up 3%.
Snap.
No, I'm up 7.
$12 calls November 1st. I mean, I really don't need them. I have a big common share position, but just for fun. All right. So I picked up $180 worth of that. All right. Root has worked absolutely beautifully, absolutely perfectly. Last night, gave you the alert initially at like $55. It wasn't like a pounding on the table buy. It was just like, I'm in and check it out. And as I started doing more research, and as it was going up, I got more and more confident. And I was adding shares on the way up. I gave you guys last night a scenario where we could hit the 52-week high 86 this morning by 9:30. And damn, we're getting pretty close. All right. So hit $79. So look, if you just look at the fundamentals of this over here, I think it was about $1.05 or something like that, $1.30 in EPS. I have it in the trade card versus an anticipated loss. That's huge. And I went through the transcript. There are no unusual charges in there. This is something that you can, or unusual items. This is something you can annualize. Go Dodgers. Congrats, Dodgers. They won the World Series. Vince says, yep. All right. So this is something you can analyze. And if you annualize it, throw a 20 PE on it, you get like a 110 target. Okay. Now, this is an insurance company. Not necessarily does it get a 20 PE. PEs in this sector are usually closer to 10 to 15. However, they're growing really fast. You don't go from negative EPS to all of a sudden making over $1 per quarter, and then you're just going to stall at $1 per quarter every quarter. No. All right. The financial analysts who are looking at this, they're building in some growth. It was a very positive transcript I was looking at, good forward-looking guidance. So I think it's kind of fair to say this deserves a 20 PE. Looking at the social media sentiment, I saw a lot of people saying this needs to have a price target in the hundreds. All right. People saying this is going to be a $100 stock today, maybe a $200, $300, $400, $500 stock a year from now. So all of that is possible here. Hopefully, my ideal situation is I get to sell half around $86 pre-market. That'll be another $10 in 20 minutes. You never know. Or right after the open, and then I'll look for pullbacks to buy. All right. Look at can we get to my limit order before the market opens? That'll be fun. Wow, we got to take a screenshot, Rhett. Last night I was like, remember that? Did you read what I put last night about?
You said buy every dip or something.
Yeah, no, but I put like it's not, the market's not going to make this as easy as you think, because it looks easy, right? But I said I predict we will open at 86, which is that major resistance, and that'll confuse the hell out of traders. Like, what do I do at 86? Do I sell everything, or am I like buying a major breakout? And then that's going to make it difficult. So I was like, the thing is going to run. You know, you buy this at 65, 70, keep buying it, because we could open at 86. If you just wait for the market to open, then you're going to be confused and not know what to do with that resistance level. It looks like that's coming, man. I got a sell order around $85 or so. Wow, come on. Just like $6 more, and then that'll be beautiful. Like a 50% gain overnight. All right.
I would have to say Root.
Yeah, well, okay. Not necessarily at this price. Or yeah.
Not at this price, though, but yeah. Yeah,
My
if we're
ideal
at 55, then yeah.
My ideal situation is I get to sell half at $85 here within the next 12 minutes. And then I look for I hope we get a sharp dip. We might not, man. This thing might just squeeze to over $100 today. That's why I don't want to sell.
There's so many people talking about that too.
Oh, talking about what?
The $100. They're saying it's gonna hit. It's gonna hit. I see so many people. Yeah. See, Root may likely hit 100.
Yeah, may likely hit 100. Vince says that. Yeah, the fundamentals warrant 100. They really do. All right. This is honestly, if I had a long-term position or a swing position, I wouldn't try to sell at 85. In fact, I bought like 150 shares in my IRA in my long-term account last night that I'm just going to keep. Right. I'm not going to get cute with that. But in my trading account, I'm going to try to be cute. I'm going to try to sell half at 85, hope for a pullback, and then get in for the run to 100. That's what I'm hoping for. It might not happen, so I'm only going to sell half. So, all right, that'll still be the top focus of the day. So we had some uncannily accurate predictions and analysis yesterday, most of the time, until the afternoon, which was not as accurate. So this was crazy. We were pounding the table on this from 55 the night after earnings, all right? Or at least mentioning it at 55. And as it went up, did more research, pounding the table, gave you guys an 86. When this thing was an after hours the night before, I'm like, I think we can open near 86, the 52-week high at the open. And we opened at like 81 or so. It quickly broke 86 within seconds. So, and then we told you $100 to $150 price target. And in the chat room, like 120, all right, 120 for today, 150, 100 to 150. That was a swing target. And he said 120 could happen today. We got to 118. That was uncannily accurate analysis. It was great. I was up $20,000 at the peak, maybe more. But then I thought 86 would hold, right? So this really disappointed me. Gapping up above the 52-week highs on inflection fundamental beat, which values the company today easily in the, I think in the 120 to 150 range. All right. Add some growth in there. There's arguments out there. I've seen people valuing this thing 12-month price target of $300, $400, $500. I really thought 86 would hold, and it didn't. All right. It's me worry or wonder if there's going to be an offering. But even if there is, then if there is an offering, it's going to shoot up from there. It's just too cheap. Wells Fargo comes out today, raises the price target from 64 to 78. Not enough. A little bit surprised it's that low. We'll see if there's other analysts out there who will give it higher price targets. But this thing is highly shorted. I was monitoring social media and was shocked to see the amount of retail that was shorting this yesterday. Shocked. Usually retail loves to chase stuff. I mean, retail was all over shorting this. Unbelievable. And they were right for, depending on their timing and entries. I mean, but they were still so bearish on it overnight. I mean, unbelievable, the amount of bears on this. And it was all basically their thesis was, well, it went up so much. That's it. Went up so much, it's got to go down. That was the only reason. So with that high short position and that weak thesis, I think we can see multiple squeezes in the coming days or weeks. Look what happened last time when they had a good earnings report. But this earnings report was much, much, much better than February. February, you got a 10 bagger over about 30, 40 days. And every day, how much are these? Like 10% moves a day, something crazy. Look at these gigantic open green candles, like 34 out of 41 days, something like that. When I went through those numbers, went up over 1,000% in 2 calendar months, in like 35 trading days, 43 trading days, something like that. Good morning. It is Monday, November 4th. So glad to be here with you today. Month of November. We'll see. We're planning on maybe doing this free pre-market prep view every single morning here at Story Trading. Just follow us on X or on YouTube so you can see this show every morning. We have a lot of fun with this show, making people a lot of money. Wow. For those of you new, real quick, first of all, Brett's my colleague there. Hello, Brett. How you doing? Say good morning.
Morning, Ben. How you doing?
Doing great. We got lots of exciting stuff to talk about. Real quick, story trading. What are we? What do we mean by story trading? What we mean is that there's a story behind all the price action. There's a story behind the chart, and you can make sense out of that story by looking not only at technicals, but also looking at fundamentals, catalysts, and sentiment. Our process mostly focuses on proximal catalysts, which impact sentiment and fundamentals. So we use our wealth of experience over 30 years doing this. What's the impact of the catalyst going to be on sentiment? Is it positive or negative? What's the impact on fundamentals? Is it positive or negative? Can you quantify it? Then you go look and you triangulate that on the chart with technicals. That's how we come up with our trade ideas. A lot of them are intraday trade ideas. A lot of them are holding for days, weeks, and some of them are holding for months or even quarters. So that's our process at story trading. We always start our pre-market show with a quick macro review. It's going to be a crazy week, guys. And no one really knows what's going to happen this week, right? We have the election tomorrow. The results may be coming out by tomorrow night or Wednesday, but there's a lot of people saying it could take weeks. So we don't really know. A lot of uncertainty there. And then we have, I think, the FOMC on Thursday or Wednesday. So FOMC also this week. In addition, we had really, really bad jobs data on Friday, which prompted us to go long IWM in the morning, which worked out, but then it gave it back. And TLT up this morning, perhaps a delayed reaction to that bad jobs data, which is maybe a harbinger of being able to justify lower rates. But I need to, a couple geopolitical things. One, with the election, I worry a lot about a sell-off after the election, no matter who wins, right? There's some conventional wisdom out there. Wait, I'm on my phone. I got to switch to, sorry. Okay. Okay, there we go. There's some conventional wisdom out there that, if Trump wins, the market's going to rocket, right? That happened in 2016. First of all, a lot of that might be priced in. But second of all, I mean, have you heard what Elon Musk has been saying? Like, he wants to cut government spending by like $2 trillion. I mean, is the market going to like that? I'm not so sure. All right. So I think there's definitely a risk of a sell-off no matter who wins. So it's going to be a volatile week. Be careful. Don't try to be a hero this week. All right. We also have geopolitical stuff going on. Now, this rise in oil is not directly related to the Mideast. It's some of the OPEC production. But we've been playing oil and gold on Mideast turmoil and ZIM for the last several months. And Iran has been saying they're going to make a major attack against Israel, making it sound like they're going to wait after the election's over. So something big could be happening later this week, next week. So geopolitically, be aware of all those risks to the market. I really worry about some downside. I recommend having some cash, higher levels of cash positions, less playing with call options, no margin in a period like this. All right. Switching over to ERs that are coming up. Actually, this list is not too updated. Well, we got PLTR and HIMS tonight. We had TGTX this morning. We have Bros and Celsius later this week. The one I'm most interested is HIMS. All right, we'll get to that into the top list right now. Let's switch on over to our top list. Wow. All right. VKTX, complete gap fill. I think this is a buying opportunity right here at the gap fill. We closed at 72.88, 73.04 now. This was up 20% initially. Look, at first, this looked like it was going to do another route. The setup was identical to route in terms of basically the positive news and where the chart was. And on route, we called it perfectly. We called for an open of 86, price target of 120 for that day. I mean, that was incredible. I thought VKTX was going to be another route, and it was on its way to potentially opening at $99. But we got blocked a little bit here with some news from Novo Nordisk and Ascendis Pharma. So those of you who don't know yet, I've seen a lot of people not talking about this, but Novo Nordisk and Ascend Pharma, they released a press release saying they're going to collaborate on a new entity, a new GLP-1 that's going to be, I believe, oral once a month, right? And that's one of the things that, VKTX did good here with the data last night. It's a once a month oral formulation with really good data, both on efficacy and tolerability. So that, got rid of some of the excitement here. Opportunity, maybe that news, it looks like definitely that news took away the opportunity for 100 today. But it doesn't mean the stock's going red. I mean, VKTX is so far ahead of this new collaboration between Novo Nordisk and Ascendis Pharma. Another way to look at this also is Eli Lilly is down 2%. what is that? $15 times, you can look at it from market perspective, but $15 shares outstanding about, so we're down about $14 billion in market cap. All right, on this news on VKTX, yet VKTX is a $8 billion company and basically flat right now. So why is Lilly down 14 billion on this news? It's because longer term, not even that much longer term, a few years out, their sales can be impacted by VKTX and impact their market cap by maybe tens of billions of dollars. So should VKTX only be worth $8 billion here? I think this is a buying opportunity right now here in pre-market near the gap fill. All right. Not turning out to be what we wanted, not turning out to be the second route in like 4 days. But I think there's still trading opportunities here at the gap fill. And then we'll be trading that in our community, in our chat room all day today, storytrading.com/Discord. So we're going to go through this list of stocks here, and we're going to choose the top 5. All right. Now that top 5 can change throughout the day in our chat room. But let's go through this exercise, see what other top 5 stocks we can find. It's not going to be Lilly, Novo, or Ascend. I just put this up there to explain what's going on with VKTX. All right. Root. So this one, we'll see if it makes the top 5, but I'm not ready to give up on this in terms of the short-term trade. I added this to my long-term account. We did well initially on that short-term trade, but then it gave a lot back. Look, this stock, you can see up here when it first had that good ER, how many days in a row? It's like 25 out of 33 days it did a 10-bagger. The ER here, which is much better than the ER here. I think this thing deserves to be trading over $100. It's highly shorted. So potentially with no news, this stock could be in play every single day and could be at the top of our watch list every single day with no news. So Root, will keep an eye on that. All right, earnings tonight. Well, we had earnings this morning. Look, I don't know TGTX too well. There are a few people in our community who like the stock, who are playing into earnings. I took a few call options, and it looks like that's not working out. It was basically in line, and they raised their revenue guidance by 2.5%. Looks like it was disappointing to the street. The Godfather and a few other people in our community are really better versed in TGTX. So if you're interested in that stock, you can head on over to our chat room. And Rhett, if you can put a banner up somewhere, actually, this is an old banner. Let me see. Here we go. Yeah. I mean, there's that. There we go. All right. Storytrading.com/Discord. All right. Look, Palantir. I sold Palantir a few weeks ago. And I think if you have an ultra long-term outlook, it's fine. You just hold it. It's very overvalued, right? But if you have a shorter-term outlook, or if you're worried about the market and volatility, I took some off a few weeks ago. Like, I don't know if I hit it was probably 42, 43, something like that. They have earnings after the close. This stock will always have a premium. So those fundamental investors who are doing the math and saying it's overvalued, they're always going to be wrong on this stock. All right. So it's probably just a matter of, do they beat expectations? So the actual value of, what's the word I'm looking for? The actual, when you do the math on the numbers, it's not going to matter. It's going to be versus expectations, right? So if they raise guidance versus expectations, the stock could go up regardless of the valuation. So Palantir is one of those stocks. If you like it, you just hold it and you hold through the volatility. But I don't think I'll be making a play on this today, at least not during the day as an event anticipation. I think we got some better things to work on. HIMS. Okay. HIMS, I'm very bullish on for earnings. I want a long-term tranche of this. I've been in call options for a few days. If you're with us right here on this day, October 30th, I started buying call options, bought more on Friday. It was one of our bigger winners on Thursday. It was our bigger winners on Friday. Big open green candle Friday. This sell-off I've been explaining for a while. Unwarranted. Too much focus from the bears on GLP-1. Even without GLP-1, this stock has been beating and raising every single quarter, even without the impact of compounding GLP-1. So we'll see. The trend is your friend, right? So I'm always going to bet on the trend until it breaks. And that trend is beat and raise every quarter, beat and raise every quarter. So that's a good bet to take, that they're going to beat and raise again. So I'm looking potentially for this stock to be trading in the $23 to $25 range tonight and tomorrow if they do have that earnings beat. So HIMS is going to be a top 5 stock today. We'll throw that up at the top. All right. VKTX is going to be a top 5 stock today, already bouncing nicely off of that gap fill above this trend line right here. All right, let's go down further and see what else we got. I do want to talk a little bit about some news on JOBY and ACHR and Peloton, and we'll talk about Snap. But first, let me jump on over to NVIDIA, SMCI, Dell, TSSI. All right. Actually, let me get a couple housekeeping things out of the way. Tesla had some bad news this morning. All right. Out of China, deliveries or sales, something like that. At this point, we got back in. Forgot when it was, but it was a couple months ago. It was right after. It was probably in here somewhere. We actually called this move. It was when we had the light CPI red. I don't know if you remember, but when we turned Tesla back on as a long-term position, I'm just holding this long-term. All right. Yep. I believe the bottom's in on Tesla. It's inflected. By the way, you get some extra sentiment premium that's going to happen if Trump wins with whatever the Trump administration might do to help Elon Musk, which is reality. That's going to happen. All right. So in any case, I like Tesla here. Not a day trade for today, but still like that. All right. Wow. NVIDIA got into the Dow. All right. It's up a couple percent. Not going to be playing that NVIDIA move. It's a little bit too late for that, I think. But look at this. So SMCI, man, were we ever right about this? All right. Money Mark's been right about SMCI and TSSI and everything, but he has lots of picks, right? We just zero in on the ones we also like that we can look at ourselves and validate. So we bailed on SMCI when this thing was like 70 or 80 bucks, and we rotated into TSSI. Look at this. What that was the move of the year, rotating out of SMCI into TSSI. TSSI is a Dell partner, guys, in terms of this stuff, in terms of the AI and the racks that are being installed at these data centers. It was SMCI and Dell. TSSI works with Dell to install this stuff and service it. Now, SMCI in big trouble. This morning, NVIDIA comes out with some news. It was in our Discord. Someone put it up. I don't know if it's here, but NVIDIA is now shifting their budget over from SMCI to other vendors. Who's that primarily mean? It means Dell and TSSI. Dell up 2.3%. Guess what, guys? Let's look at the chart in a second, but I'm putting both Dell and TSSI in the top 5 on this news today. All right. So now we got VKTX pumping. Great. So if you were with us at the top of the show, you're already making money with that buy call we had. So we got VKTX, we got HIMS, we got Dell, we got TSSI. Now, let's look at this Dell chart for a second, see if we can see anything. We have last week's high at 133.97. It's right there now. Looks like it might want to break that. So Dell can be pretty fun. Look, for me personally, the mega caps, the large caps, I don't really trade them. I know there's a lot of people who love to trade options on this stuff. Not my shtick. I just hold these stocks long term. So Dell is a big beneficiary of what's going on with NVIDIA and SMCI. For me, that's a long-term hold. TSSI is more short-term trading. Okay. In this case, when I say short-term, I mean it's been months, right? We've been holding this. It's still like a short-term swing for us, and it's been spectacular. All right. With what's going on with Dell and everything, we already put an overweight trade position back on TSSI on top of our core on October 21st, when it was about $6.40 with a target of 8 to 10. All right. How's that working? Just
amazing.
Right. So this is back in play. This is OTC. You can't buy it now. You got to wait till 9:30. So I think TSSI acutely here. Look at this high and tight. It's really wound up over here with higher lows. So 8 to 10. They have earnings coming up in a couple of weeks, or maybe 10 days. So my target before earnings, as I've been saying, is 8 to 10. We'll see what they do for earnings. We'll have to rejudge then. But potential I've been talking about, if they continue executing over the next couple quarters, you could see $25 on TSSI within a couple quarters. So VKTX, HIMS, Dell, TSSI, all right, are going to be in the top 5. Rhett, did I forget anything? I think I did. Hold on. Let me go down. I think there's some other news over here. JOBY had some news with Toyota doing a demonstration of their electric, what is it called? Vertical takeoff and landing vehicle, or flying cars, as Trump said. Okay. So we have 2 catalysts now for JOBY and ACHR. JOBY and ACHR were in the news recently. What was it? What was it in the news? Now I forget. It was the final rule by the FAA to clear the way for commercial flight. All right. So we had some big moves there in JOBY. Then they raised money. ACHR, not as big of a move. But now Trump, yesterday, I think it was Sunday or maybe Saturday, coming out and saying he wants to give tons of money, incentive, and everything for American companies to beat Asian companies in flying cars, as he actually the media called it flying cars. If you listen to his speech, he was actually said vertical takeoff and landing vehicle. So, I think these two, I like ACHR better. I like the valuation of ACHR better than JOBY. JOBY's more ahead, but ACHR value-wise looks a little bit better. Also, at this point, the chart looks better on ACHR. So, you know what? I'm going to throw tentatively until I hear from Rhett. I'm going to throw ACHR here into the top 5. Okay, into the top 5 potentially, but kind of speculative. If Trump loses, the thing could crash, right? If he wins, it could explode. So, maybe a small position into the election. Obviously, if Trump wins, we have the whole MAGA list here of things that could do well. That's another story that we don't have time to get into right now. All right, so we'll throw that into the top 5. And by the way, Snap, I've been calling for a $14.40 price target, I believe it is, since the earnings report. So we'll have that high on the watch list. It's had very, very good relative strength Snap has had in the last several days of market volatility. And with that, I'm going to take a breath. Rhett, what do you think?
Sounds good. I'm really liking the Dell setup at the moment. I think if I were to have to go with choosing one of the top picks for today, Dell is going to be it for me. I'm looking at around, let's pull it up right here. I'm looking at a break above 134.10 to hop into that. So that's going to be one of the top on my list for today. TSSI, same as well, but I'm holding that and swinging that.
I think with Dell, hold on, I'm just looking at the weekly charts here. You have that 134 level roughly. If it breaks that, maybe you can make a move to about 140 at the top of this candle on July 19th. So yeah, I like Dell.
Yeah, exactly. And then ACHR and JOBY, I currently hold both positions in both those. So I'll just be still swinging those. So that's a plus for me. Oh yeah, got in those last week, so it's pretty nice.
Oh, beautiful.
Yep, and then still swinging those HIMS calls with you. So good there, and also still swinging VKTX. So in pretty much all these.
All right. So I think so we like these VKTX, HIMS, Dell, TSSI, ACHR. I think that's good for the top 5.
Definitely.
I'm going to put Root out here. Again, this is almost going to be like just like TSSI has been over the past few months. It's like always there as a swing. So we don't necessarily have room to put it in the top 5 every single day. I feel like Root's going to be the same thing for the next few months. All right. We don't have a catalyst today, so it's not going to be the top 5, but we'll put it right below the top 5 because the potential exists for an open green candle each and every single day with Root, just like it did with TSSI after that inflection point news. So we'll leave Root here just below the top 5 so we can keep an eye on it. As far as these 5 go, I think I'm good with keeping ACHR at number 5 out of 5.
Yep.
A little bit speculative, not a specific catalyst. It's more of a sentiment play based on JOBY and the Trump comments. With these other 4, we have specific catalysts on all of them: VKTX, HIMS, Dell, and TSSI. I'm going to call these a specific catalyst on the NVIDIA rotating money out of SMCI into probably Dell and TSSI. So these are the top 4. You have any thoughts on look at this finally coming back? This has been a tough one for me trading. Look, I have a big position, a fairly nice position coming in today, so that's great. But I did take that news that caused us to go down, caught me off guard. 5 as a trade position. So now we're getting closer back to those buy positions. But okay, out of these 4 here, which one do you like as a number 1 pick, Rhett?
Number 1 pick, if we can break the 134 on Dell, I'd have to say, but that's if it breaks. So I would have to go with VKTX, then probably Dell.
Okay, you know what? I think I'm going to go with that. HIMS is a little more speculative with earnings tonight. Yep. Who knows? They might miss. So let's make that the number 3. Yeah, I think this is good. VKTX, Dell, HIMS, TSSI, ACHR. These are top picks. Folks, thanks for joining us. Been a nice crowd, over 600 people here. That's good. If you keep on coming every day and retweet this stuff, interact on our posts on X, we'll be back here for the entire month of November. And if you want to trade with us during the day, we give a lot of content in the nights and in the weekends on breaking news and stuff like that. And in the evenings, getting ready for the day. So head on over to storytrading.com/Discord. It only costs $2 a day. That's it. $2 a day. And people are doing really well in our community. So hope to see you there. Any final words, Rhett?
Nope. I mean, that's it. We also do live trading sometimes. Like last Wednesday, we live trade and called out snap calls that returned 114%. So
That was
you
fun.
get a lot of bang for your buck. I will say that for only $2 a day.
Sounds great. We'll see you in our Discord, and we'll see you tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Thanks, everyone.